Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we bring to you the continuation of sad but chilling confession from one of our brothers who happens to be a pastor. This our brother was revealing to us in the previous episode on how he was told about a spiritual person in Zimbabwe who could help him to be more powerful. We saw or heard how he got there and had his powers to be used to manipulate the masses. Now what happened to him and the family? Also, what caused him to tell us or meet us to reveal this story to us? To get these answers, let us go and listen to this message by our brother. And don't forget to please subscribe if this is your first time, like and share this video so others can listen to it as well. And also hit the notification bell, so you will be notified anytime we upload videos of this nature.
Upon returning back home, I felt an exhilarating rush of energy. After about 3 months of returning from my visit to Zim, I saw a serious change in my ministry. My sermons became more powerful, and miracles began to manifest in ways I had never experienced before. People flocked to my church, and for a time, it seemed as though my dreams had come true. But with each miracle came an insidious shadow that crept into my life. When the miracles began to manifest in such manner, strange occurrences began to plague my family. My wife, once vibrant and full of life, fell into a deep depression, plagued by nightmares and visions of darkness. My children became withdrawn, their laughter replaced by an eerie silence. It wasn't long before tragedy struck. One of my children, who is actually the last born, fell gravely ill, her body tormented by an unseen force. Desperate for answers, I sought counsel from fellow pastors and some spiritual leaders I had come to know. It was during one of such meetings that the truth began to unravel. They spoke of the dangers of seeking power outside of God's will, warning me that I had unwittingly invited a demon into my home. A demon that demanded sacrifices in exchange for the power I sought. As the weight of my actions bore down on me, I realized that the very miracles I had sought to perform were now tainted by darkness. My family became collateral damage in my quest for power. They were suffering because of my choices. The darkness that had granted me power had begun to consume me and the very things that mattered to me. Like I said, it started with my wife having these strange dreams and visions at night. Then my last born fell gravely ill, with her body tormented by an unseen force. My daughter would be crying and shouting on top of her voice at night. I couldn't bear this pain that she was going through. So, just like the man had asked that I set up an altar, I went to my altar room one night and consulted the dark spirit about what was happening to my family. When the spirit appeared to me, it told me that I made a pact with it and it demanded special sacrifice, and it is for that reason my daughter will have to be taken away from me. Before I could say anything or plead for her life, the spirit disappeared. At this point, I didn't know what to do again. Because I knew it was truly going to happen to me like the spirit had said. I came and told my wife to let us take the child to the hospital and find out what really was wrong with her. I lied to her that I have done all that I know, but I cannot see the cause of the problem and even the remedies to give her. My brother, my beautiful daughter, who was just 2 years getting to 3, succumbed to the powers of the dark forces, and we lost her in the hospital the next day. I saw my wife went into a state that I feared of losing her too. She never got back to herself since we lost our daughter. And you see, I didn't know if it was the spirit that was doing that to her, or it was actually as a result of losing our child. This affected me greatly for some time. I must tell you that, after this, I became increasingly isolated from my congregation, driven by paranoia and fear of losing my family and also the powers that I have gone to seek, which has taken my daughter away from. Reason why I feared for my life and the family as well as losing the power was that I didn't know for sure if I was to go ahead and still serve this dark spirit or not. And also, the fear of losing my life if I decided to leave this pact and covenant I have with the dark spirit. The spirit appeared to me one very afternoon when I was alone in my closet. It told me that I must go ahead and walk because I had already made the sacrifice that it needed and I shouldn't let the sacrifice of my daughter go waste. So, after about a month of constant appearance to me through dreams, I took on that mantle again and started working with whatever powers that I had gotten. And I can tell you that I felt an increase in whatever I was doing before. It was as if I carried the powers of the whole world. I had once again become the sought-after prophet. My congregation was always full to the maximum capacity. As my influence expanded, so did the demands from the dark spirit started coming back to me again. This time, it was like after about 5 years or so that I first met with a demand from it. This time around, it required sacrifices of animals and fruits. This, I said, was very small as compared to me losing my daughter. And as such, I gladly did as I was always directed to do. This I considered to be small at first, but it again started growing in severity as time went on. But the one thing I didn't realize was the fact that the dark spirit was feasting on my congregation. Eventually, the consequences of my choices caught up with my members. Members of my congregation began to suffer misfortunes. Illness spread among those who had once been healed. After about some time of my worries, it appeared to me and told me not to worry because it was its own way of taking my sacrifices. And the more it happened to the congregation, the more my powers will be. My brother, as today as you sit with me like this, I have done a lot of evil things. And I have caused pains to lots of families. What do I mean by causing pains to families? You see, I watched and also acted along as the Spirit inflicted these pains and problems on the congregation. Sometime, it does those things and then, direction will be given to me and I will be able to heal them. Sometime too, through those inflicted illness on them, they lose their lives through the process. So, it happened that, every year or two I will lose a member. And it was not a normal or natural way. But that is as a result of my pact and worship with the dark powers. I gained so much power and fame. All of that at the expense of the innocent people who saw me to be some pastor ordained by God. You see, by me joining these dark forces to work against myself and humanity in general, through the process I have lost my wife and let me say my family in general. It all started when my wife started having the same strange experiences that he had experienced before. During these dark moments, I consulted the spirit, but they told me nothing. And as such she said that she wanted to go and visit her family. Which I allowed her because I felt she needed to even be away. In my thinking, when she is away, maybe she might not suffer the way she did. And after about weeks that she went, I called her and asked when she was going to return to me. She said she don't know because she wasn't too well. I asked her what she meant by not being well. For the first time, my wife hung up a call on me and never answered my calls. I tried reaching my father-in-law after about some days that she was not answering my calls. He too decided not to answer the calls. So, I became worried and had made plans to go to the place to find out what really was happening. That evening, my wife called me and told me that she wanted to have a very deep conversation with me, but only when I promised to tell her the truth, other than that she was walking out of the marriage. This is a woman that I loved so much dearly. And to be honest, I couldn't watch her go away from me. She came home the next morning and asked me something that I had never thought my wife would ever ask me. She asked me what really took the life of our daughter. The question hit me like blow. At first, honestly, I thought of lying to her. But she came in and said that she already knew what the answer is. But then she just wanted me to be very much honest with her. And as such, I had no choice than to open up to my wife about it. I explained how it all happened and I got myself involved with all that I had gotten myself into. This was when she told me that she had visited a man who uses herbs to do his business because she needed solutions to her problems. And it was this man that told her everything that was going on with her and the cause of it. I then told me that according to the man, she was on the line to be taken by the dark spirit. So this man did some things for her so that the dark spirit will leave her in peace. She told me that she has made sure her family does not know of what I have done. Because, when she went to the man the second time, the man said she had something very serious to talk about but would love to speak with her first. And when she got to know that it was about me, she told the man to tell her family something different but then revealed to her on a different occasion everything. After she told me this, she told me again that she does not intend to go ahead with the marriage and so she will be going with our children. For she does not want them to be associated with my rituals and dark spirits. I lost my marriage in the process, and even my children do not come to me as their father. After about some time, the spirit came to me demanding other sacrifices. This was when I got furious and angry at their demands. In a final confrontation with the spirit that had granted me the power, I sought redemption by attempting to break the pact. However, the spirit revealed that there was no escape from the darkness I had embraced. My brother, as I sit here, I don't really know what will happen even tomorrow. Because in a desperate bid for salvation, I returned to a forest for one last ritual. And these rituals, after I had done that, I gave up all the things I used to build the altar in my house and everything of its possession with me. I didn't hear about it when I went to the forest, which is a sign of not accepting my demands. But I left everything there in desperation. Yes, the church, I have closed it and I am no more practicing pastoral duties again. I need redemption myself. And so, I cannot continue to lie to the people anymore. In a moment of clarity, I understood that true power comes not from rituals or sacrifices but from a genuine relationship with God. I have been pleading for forgiveness for my misguided pursuit. I sought deliverance for my family and myself, but the damage had already been done. The demon I had unwittingly brought back with me had claimed its price, the life of my daughter and even the lives of innocent people who were part of my church. They all had become its sacrifices. Today, before you is not a man of power but a broken person seeking redemption. My life should serve as a warning to those who seek miracles without understanding their source. To anyone reading this confession, in our quest for greatness, we must never lose sight of the true foundation of our faith, love, humility, and a reliance on God's grace. Be wary of the allure of power. Seek not the extraordinary but the authentic presence of God in your life. Miracles are not meant to be bartered for, they are gifts bestowed upon us through faith and obedience.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Indeed, I will start by saying that life and the very essence of this precious gift is not about how well or how much money you were able to acquire. Nor it is about how influential you becoming in this material world. But then, it is about how much of positivity you affect people. How much love you show your fellow human being, which is the nature of the creator of this very universe. I say this to say that, true value or meaning of having power is not how many miracles you have been able to perform. It is not about how much money you have in your account. You don't need to go to any deity or dark force before you can manifest your power. The God that created you is having it in abundance, the power to do all things. So, if you so need it, go back to your source. Sometimes when you hear such things about pastors, it brings your spirit down, but like I always say, we are only here to warn our brothers and sisters about the ways of the evil one amongst even the children of God. It is also not to suggest that any pastor or prophet out there doing his work is of the evil one. But this is to tell you to be careful when you are going to such places. Be smart and read in between the lines. Let your inner intuition talk to you about places that you go. Please let us hear your thoughts in the comment section. Yes, just as we are here to share with ourselves what is going on out there, we do bring these conversations with you, our family members, to help our innocent brothers and sisters to realize what is happening out there, that they do not have any idea about. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.